Well, what's going on, guys? 9:55 in the morning on a Saturday, the 19th of October, 2024. We're getting close to the time where we select our leaders, unless some of us have already actually voted already, and I had. That's what happens when you happen to use vote by mail. And I did. I did. I did. And I'm still getting the political crap. I'm also running into issues regarding if we are still a religious nation, political nation, or are we a combination of both? And to tell you the truth, we are so screwed up we don't even know what the hell we are. There's a minority out there stating that we are a Christian nation only, and we should only be a Christian nation. Great, so we're run by theology, we're also run by doxology, we're also run by autocracy. We're going to be allowing Sharia law to dictate. I thought we were supposed to be in a republic. We're supposed to be a democratic society of sorts. We have a U.S. Constitution. It clearly states that we have a separation of church and state. I'm right over here, dog. She's stressing again. So, we have people trying to convince us that we should have only one religion rule us everything. I mean, yeah, you have the ability to believe in anything else, but we are strictly a Christian nation because this is what the Christian nationalists keep saying. That Christ should be. They don't even bother to read the damn Bible. Counter it. Say, oh, I read the Bible already. Then what did it say in Luke? And what did it say in Mark? And what did it say in Matthew? And what did it say in John when Jesus went up to the mountain to do his sermon to the folks? We can all research that online. It's a quick Google search, or else you pull out your Bibles and you can actually look at the thing. Now, I can type in somewhat fast enough, into the search engine saying BibleGateway.com, Jesus Sermon on the Mount, and it gave me Matthew 5 through 7. Wow. And in this, the English Standard Version of it, it says, seeing the crowds, he went up on the mountain. And when he sat down, his disciples came to him. And the next section they have in this one is the Beatitudes. Now, I said before in some of my other videos that, yeah, I have read this many times in my youth in different forms and formats. I'd listened to it from televangelists back in the 80s, from the 70s and 80s. One of them wrote books, and one of them was dealing with the Be Happy attitudes, and this was part of it. This was the main part of it, the Beatitudes. Guys, ever heard of Robert Harold Schuller of the Hour of Power back in the 1970s and 80s when he ran his empire of the Crystal Cathedral Ministries? He kept it on for a while. But as things go on, things happen, things change, sometimes for the worse. He's already passed on for decades. But he led a following of Christians out there who wasn't out for conquest or changing people's attitudes for political reasons. He was doing it because he cared enough for the people and everybody else to understand Jesus' message was, we don't have to be on each other's throats all the damn time. We could be a bit neighborly. We could be a little nicer, can't we? I mean, if somebody needs help, despite the fact they may be a pain in the ass to us, we can still say that I don't care how much of a pain in the ass you are, you still need help, and that's what I'm here for, to help you out. So what you need? What can I do to help you? And not just to skull thump a Bible with a combination of political and religion in it. Singular, secular religion. I'm finding it harder and harder to deal with this kind of faith-based way of enforcing religion down people's throat. And don't get me this attitude and this confusion, this conflicting nature that you have to be Christian to be American. No, you don't have to be, because it never said so in the Constitution. You probably think I hold it higher than the Bible. No, but it is the law of the land. It gives us freedom to believe and worship any which way we want, as long as we're not trying to force it down people's throat. If they're willing to believe, fine. But I'm not willing to force a religion down people's throat and saying this is the political will, this is the religious will, this is the only will. And this is what we're hearing. This is what's being said on the media all the damn time, unless you happen to go to the rallies and try to ask a few questions. Therefore, you got some of the independents doing that. And they're coming up with the same thing. The uber religious fanatics out there who want religious power over a political government, which was created as. There's a separation of church and a separation of state. State will not enforce a version of faith or religion down people's throats, according to the Constitution. We've already seen that happen already. People keep forgetting. They don't want to remember it. They're sidelined. They're always forgetting that we've had empires rise and fall under that kind of insanity. We've had people do atrocities in the name of that faith. Even Christianity has that blood on its mark. It's not perfect. Any religion is not perfect. They all have blood in it. Because they're always led by some idiot out there who wants to see blood and laugh his ass off and drain in it and drown in it and be engrossed by it. Something of the Beatitudes always escapes people left and right. Especially when you're dealing with the political crap saying, well, this is woke, this is liberal, you can't be that way. Because Jesus was never that way. But if Jesus was this way, you're going to still follow him? Well, I'm a Christian, aren't I? I follow Christ. Then Christ was liberal and woke. No, he wasn't! I can't understand that! Can you tell me what the Beatitude was? No! Trump is the only one we want. Trump. Trump is part of God. In one instance, we all are part of God. We all are part of the universe. We all are part of a connection in a different sense that we can understand. At least I've come to understand that portion. I can't explain it to people. They have to experience it for themselves. And I don't know how to get to them at that point. I had to die at the age of 4 years old. Scared the hell out of me. And in my youth, I had a couple of experiences that still scared the hell out of me. I mean, energized you, but it still scared the hell out of you later on. And then went out trying to seek it. Because it was not the chemical high. It was a connection I wanted. So, you search. And you do what you can. So, talking about the Beatitudes, I'm switching this format into something that I can understand. Something I was dealing with for a long version of it. King James. But that wasn't it, was it? Alright, let me get this out. Is this one of those I was looking at? I had everyone all together. Okay. So that's the Bible Gateway. Was there another one? No, I guess that was it. Okay, we're going to be that way about it. Okay, King James version of it. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into the mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be filled. So they shall be filled, actually. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, and theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you, and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my name's sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt's lost its flavor, wherewith shall it be salted? It's therefore thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and be trodden under the foot of men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. And there's a lot more things to say, but usually when I was reading the book, it was only covering the first 10 of it. Schuller stopped at Blessed are ye when men shall revile you. And that was 11. But he went through 10. He went through 1 through 10. And that was the main point of his book. I mean, everything else is a long thing to remember. But it's a good thing it was written down. But it is important for people to keep looking at it from time to time to be reminded of what they understand. And sometimes we nitpick. We try to find one particular Bible verse or a phrase in there to say, well, this is what the Bible says, and this is what we have to do, and this is how it has to be. I'd say so. Well, who are you? Don't argue with me. I'm appointed. No, you're an ego. How dare you? I dare. Okay, and you're a word salad coming out of your mouth. Yeah. And I don't know, it pisses people off left and right that they can't even bother to understand it. Even for some people who can try understanding it in their hearts. I don't like it when people try to force the word down my throat and say that they're the authority. No. I'm reminded of things that are written. I'm reminded of a few things that I think to me are a little bit more important than anything else. I mean, if I try to be something I'm not, I'll know it, I'll feel it. And I know it changes me to an ugly person. I am an ugly person. And I know that. Because being that kind of an ugly person shows me what I am. If I make that kind of choice and I feel no, if I don't feel anything that tells me that I am an ugly person and I am an ugly person, I don't care. I have I am lacking remorse. I am lacking empathy, understanding, compassion. And I'm listening to my dog complain right now. I need her to keep walking a little bit. She's having a hard time getting up sometimes. To say that I have no spiritual compass, well, then I'm really a fool and an idiot. I am still working on that spiritual compass. I still have to be accountable. I have to be transparent, responsible, and accountable. I have to hold myself into that esteem there. I hope I know what right and wrong is, but sometimes there are no easy choices, decisions that leads you from one path or another. And what drives me crazy is I'm trying to listen for what's right and what's wrong, and then there's what's necessary. And sometimes what's necessary in one format or one viewpoint may not be the correct one. And sometimes the correct one is doing harm. And it sucks. There are decisions we've made, each in our own past and in our collective past, that put us into different situations where we didn't expect to be. We want the easy way. I think it was never supposed to be easy in being faithful. And believing in something that strongly. And one way we have to show to the universe that we we want to be part of this thing, but we have to give us something of ourselves. Some people call it martyrism. Other people call it something else. I don't know. Dying for a cause. I'd rather be living for the cause. But the thing is, I don't like skull thumping people either. Or, as I call it, Bible thumping. Take a Bible and keep bashing on top of the head, saying, you will get this, because it is the will of God that you will get this. And I will force this upon you, and you will deal with it. And if you do not deal with it, tough, because you will deal with it. Of course, I'm going to have people telling me otherwise, saying, how dare you? Who do you think you are doing this thing and telling us this? And the other thing I'm going to be telling him is, deal with me. Because I am the asshole that's doing it to you. So now I got to deal with that one, don't I? I have to deal with that kind of attitude. My faith is stronger than yours. Therefore, I got to try it against you because I will commit. And believe me, there are passages in the Old Testament I've come across that we have to pit ourselves against the largest enemy over here to prove that we are mighty because God is mighty, and therefore we're going to pit ourselves against the guy because we're trying to prove our faith, our belief, is higher and stronger than the other guys. And then sometimes, if you're really into a religious fanaticism, that's really going to be driving crazy. Such as what I'm dealing and hearing about with people who are so convinced that they are righteous that everything else won't make sense except for what they think and believe, and that's the only thing. I keep asking myself when the Old Testament was put into words, why was it made this way? It's not that I'm trying to say it's not against God's word. I mean, this has been interpreted for how many years? Oh, 2 or 3,000, roughly. Some people a long time ago dated the universe about 4,000 years ago, and yet we would have fossilized records going over millions of years of different animals. Go figure. Well, no, that's just not right, because it's been this way and it's been that way. Yeah, well, then how come in their writings they never said anything about dinosaurs? They never said anything about mastodons. Nothing was about that. But we had to believe that God created the earth in 7 days. In human terms, in human global terms, to us that's... I'm sorry, my scientific mind doesn't work that way. 7 days. What was considered a day in God's terms? How long in human terms, or in the universe's terms, was that? I always had to tear that thing apart. We think of it because we are limited. We can't go beyond the scope of that. I know that for decades people have been trying to date the Bible, and are considered Christians. Creationists, actually. They were trying to date the Bible exactly because of whatever kind of calculations they were making that this happened. I am not trying to shake anybody else's faith. I am only going by what information I came across in my lifetime and trying to understand. Sometimes she's having a hard time this morning getting up, that's for darn sure. Come on, honey. You gotta get those legs of yours walking. Come here. Come on. Come here, girl. Come on. I'm right here. I'm right here. Come here. Come here. Oh. Tell me something I don't already know, Ma. You're safe. You're safe, honey. But you still gotta get some water. You're thirsty. There's a couple of places for you to drink. It's alright. You're safe, Mama. You're safe. See, I never could quite understand all the calculations made. People say it's about 4,000 or 5,000 years because of all the things happening. We don't have that much evidence. We don't. But if we look at it scientifically, if we look at it logically, there's no way in hell we had 7 days making this planet. At least in human terms. Now beyond that, it's a different story altogether. If we can find out the furthest galaxy or furthest star, it being so many light years away, it takes light so long to get to one point or another. I mean, from the sun to the earth is about 8 minutes. How fast the light photon goes from the surface to Earth. You'd think it'd be a lot closer. And then we would use maybe principles like that to try to figure out closest star to us, closest galaxy, and the distances become increasing. So how is it the Earth was made in 7 days? Never quite figure that one out. But I don't discount in here. I don't discount the experiences I had in my lifetime. I don't discount the experiences I had when I had died 3 times on an operating table, age of 4 years old, while doctors were trying to bust their butt trying to save my ass. Doing a valve repair. Actually, a few valve repairs. And I kept dying on them too many times. So, yeah, I know what it's like to have that experience. That it's not euphoria, but it's euphoria, terror, and disappointment. Because it wasn't time for me to leave. If it was time for me to leave, I should have been left a long time ago, and I wouldn't be here doing this. But, here I am. So there's a faith in something. And also, when praying about a few things, I had a few experiences that was not chemical, but it was spiritual. But besides the energy bursts, there were also knowledge and being aware and having behaviors changed in my lifetime from one thing to another. So I am aware that there are things out there that I can't explain. But forcing my faith, forcing my beliefs, forcing my ideas down people's throats and saying that you will believe, you must, because I say so, because I represent. No, because that means you're a frickin' egomaniac at this point over here who doesn't represent God. Or whatever kind of faith belief that you have. Probably call me infidel. Okay, I'm an infidel. I'm a fool, I'm an idiot. How dare I? You're a Philistine. Okay, fine, I'm a Philistine. You uneducated fool, an idiot. I dare call myself that. I dare challenge people on that one. Say, fine, you're right in your own term. I'm right! Because in your head, you can't admit defeat, you can't admit you're wrong, and you can't keep an open mind. You don't want it. You wanted to be the bully. Take away your bully power. Now what do you got? How dare you! Submit to me! I am not going to say yes to you because you're fearful in your mind that you want people to like and fear you. And you think you got power that way. When someone else keeps trying to take away your power, you don't want that. You're a scared little creature. That's what you are. And I am not playing your head games. Go play in someone else's sandbox. This is mine. Ah! So now there will be a disagreement. Okay, fine. Agree to disagree. No, I will beat you in submission. I you will feed your damn ego. Go suck on someone else, you leech. I'll just say have a nice life, have a nice day, and get the hell away from me. I will convince you, I will convert you, I will force my will upon you. Because you're not much of a scared little boy who wants a hell of a lot of support, who can't get it from mommy, daddy, or from big brother or big sister, or cousins, or anybody else. So now you're all alone, you've got to bloody everyone else's nose, and convince them that you are powerful than they are. And that'll feed your own screwed up ego, your own screwed up id. No, I'm not playing your damn game. But the one thing I'll do is say, okay, fine, I forgive you. What? Because the faith that I have, and I still have to get it practiced on every single day. It's not just a once in a while. It's like pulling a thing out of a. Well, it's not pulling it out of thin air and saying, well, I'm just going to use this from time to time. No, it has to be constantly worked on. The hardest thing is for me to find forgiveness in people. Forgive them for their own misinterpretations of life. that they want what they want and they will get it because they think they are entitled to it. And they have to push people. They have to push everybody else. They have to push me. I'm going to say I'm not going to be pushed, but I'm not going to. I choose not to harbor the hate, even though I got a lot of disgust. A lot of people want to be followed. I never asked it. Maybe in my imaginations, I thought I'd be that kind of a person, and then I discovered, no, I don't want to be that kind of a person. I'm independent at this point over here. I'm trying to do things that I can. I was even independent while taking care of Ma and Dave. They had their own ideas, so I said, okay, fine. But I'll still do what I can. I'll just be guided by something. But I don't have to force that on people's throats. I don't have to force it on people's heads. I don't have to browbeat it into them. I don't have to take a Bible and thump their head off. Hello. I'll just put this on pause. No, I just don't have his material just yet, but I'm going to get it. Meanwhile, for today, they can all say what they want to say. They can all say that you're going to have to follow me because we say so. No, I don't. Unless you're doing rules, regulations, laws by the U.S. Constitution, that's one thing. Federal, state, or local ordinances and authorities. But you're going to say that you are a prophet of God, that you will be obeyed. I say, bite me. With a smile. And have a nice day. I'm not dealing with you. You want to convince the world that you're right and everything should be your way? I'm sorry, Scooter Boy. I'm going to have to be in your way. You take away people's freedom of choice. You offer them smoke and mirrors and piss water out of your rolling cart. And you think you've got everything solved and everything's natural and everything is this way and everything's that way. Well, I hate to tell you this, pal, but it doesn't work that way. Never did. So, with that being said, have a nice life.